What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and this one I'm going to talk about Tesla buying the QQQ and Nvda and break down some very important information about the markets and talk about something that's going to be happening over the next hour that's going to be huge. Before I break anything down about all this information, though, let me just mention a couple of things. I'm firstly not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And don't forget about the Weeble link. The offer ends very soon. Deposit any amount of money and you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer also ends in 7 days. But anyways, let's talk about the market, what's going on with it. So in the morning, I told you guys that we could see a bounce on Tesla. We're expecting some very high volatility. We got this nice bounce on Tesla, actually broke above 265. And I expected lots of volatility in the morning. Then I told you we'd likely see the market slow down and trade very sideways as we approach the FOMC meeting. And that's very close to what happened to Tesla, right? We got this nice pop all the way up to our resistance at this 268 area. It got above our 265 resistance, excuse me. And the next level would be 268 after that. And that's where Tesla went to, forming a head and shoulders. Then it came right back down to about 262.5, going back and forth between 265 and 262. Back and forth and back and forth. Very, very boring for the past 3 hours. And now it's going to continue to be boring for a little bit longer before we see a massive move. But the reason why I'm making this video is because I want to give you guys a final warning about something. All right, so at 2 o'clock p.m., okay, we have the interest rate hike decision coming out. This means that it's going to be all over the news. The Fed's giving us some kind of rate hike or not. It's going to make the headlines first. And then at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time or New York time, we have the Fed press conference coming out. This is when Jerome Powell is going to be speaking and the market's going to go berserk. Okay, we have a new update coming out from CME, and that is basically we're seeing a small update in the current probabilities of the rate hikes. There's now a 3.5% chance the Fed gives us a 50 basis point rate hike, which is extremely unlikely. I don't really see that happening. There's no need for it. And there's a 96.5% chance the Fed gives us a 25 basis point rate hike or a 0.25% increase. And there's a very low probability of them pausing according to this as well. So now let's go over the possibilities. If the Fed pauses, okay, even though it's unlikely, if that were to happen, we're going to see the whole market shoot up. The market's going to squeeze to the upside. Tesla's going to run all the way up to these high levels, all the way up as high as almost like 270 or so. If the Fed gives us this right here, this 50 basis point rate hike or a 0.5% increase in the Fed funds rate, this is going to cause the market to crash, and Tesla's going to make its way down to the 250s. SPY is going to crash all the way down to 450 or lower. It's going to be really bad. But if the Fed, and once again, that's very, very unlikely that the Fed does do a 50 basis point or even pause. It's extremely likely with a 96.5% probability the Fed's going to give us a 25 basis point rate hike. And if that happens, I'm not sure how the market will respond, honestly. There are different ways you can interpret this. It's very ambiguous. Uh, if the market interprets this as bad news and the market is just not happy about the Fed raising rates again, since the market was expecting this to be the final rate hike and for the Fed to start pausing very soon, the market could sell off because of the news, or the market could get a very big pump. I'm honestly like not sure what's going to happen, to be honest with you. And the best thing to do is just limit uncertainty by managing risks and not necessarily going too heavy on positions during times like this, right? Not financial advice, but I'm simply not going to be taking any like major positions as of right now. I'm just holding cash and waiting for the very, very big drop of the data. I am holding Tesla shares and stuff, right? I'm still holding onto my shares for the long term. I'm not selling those, of course. I'm just referring to my trading positions, the options. I'm not really holding any of them. I'm simply just going to wait and be patient. So with that said, I mean, I want to let everyone know that this data is going to be coming out. Okay, it's almost out. The market's going to make a huge move, and we don't know which way the market's going to go. So the most intelligent thing to do would be just to be careful and maybe even just avoid taking on like too much risk during a time like this. Not financial advice. I'm just saying this in general. That's what I'm doing. And just to be very careful, okay? Just be very, very careful. Be ready for some big volatility. Now, what I can tell you is if the market does sell off hard, it's going to get bought right back up, in my opinion, right before Powell speaks. If the market makes a big move to the upside, it might actually sell off a little bit right before Powell speaks as well. I don't think the market's going to just shoot up or shoot down and keep going, approaching Powell. I think it's going to see high volatility as it comes to the big dates. Now, with that said, for Tesla, let me just remind everyone it's getting kind of tight. So here's what you need to watch for. If we get a bullish move, you're going to be watching 265 as resistance, 268, 270, and 272, followed by 275 above that. If it breaks down, you're going to be watching 262.5, 260, followed by 257 to 258, this zone like right here. Then we have 255 below that and 254.26. So support and resistances are important to watch for. Market is going to make a big move. Make sure you're ready and make sure that you are prepared and do what you have to do for your portfolios in the process. SPY has been very, very sideways. You could do whatever you want, by the way, guys. I'm not giving any financial advice. I'm just saying it's your choice. Watch 455. If that breaks, there's 456. If not 457, just like what we saw yesterday. Or was it yesterday? I think the day before. No, it was yesterday, right? Almost 457. We came very close to it. Below this, if we do break down, you're going to be watching 454, 453.5, followed by 452.69. So it could go either way. Make sure you're prepared for this. Expect a very big move to come and expect even more craziness once Jerome Powell returns. And then finally, for the QQQ, if we're bullish, you're going to be watching 377.69, 379, and then 380 above that. If it breaks down, there's 375.8, 375 flat, 374.15. Then we have the lower levels below that. So watch support and resistance. We will see what the market does. And last but not the least, we have Nvda. If we're bullish, we're going to be watching this thing push for about 452. Break above that, there's 455 for Nvidia. And above 455, it's going to go to this imbalance to about 460. We have a nice imbalance up here. It's going to go all the way up there. And above that, 468, 470, and then the much higher levels could come. If it breaks down, there's 446, 444, and then 440 as our major supports. So we're going to be watching these very carefully. I do want to note one thing about NVIDIA is from a technical standpoint, like I said in the morning, it's looking bullish from a technical standpoint still overall on the bigger trend. If you just look at it like this is what NVIDIA is looking like. We have a nice potential cup and handle forming, a nice inverse head and shoulder structure. It does look like it could make its way up later on, but no guarantees. It really depends on Powell and what happens with the FOMC meeting. So yes, it depends on all this data and stuff, but just based off technicals, there is a potential setup forming on NVIDIA. I just want to call that out. And with that said, guys, let's get ready for some big data and big volatility. It's going to be very fun to watch, and you could be like trading it. You could be scalping if you want, but just be careful. Manage your risks and do what you have to do. I really want the best for everyone. That's why I'm warning you guys. And with that said, have a great day. I'll see you guys very, very soon. And once again, for the last time, I'm going to say it again. 2 o'clock p.m. New York time, we have the interest rate hike decision coming out. It's most likely going to be a 25 basis point rate hike, which will shake the markets. I don't know which way exactly. I'm expecting high volatility. I don't expect the market to just shoot up or shoot down in one direction. It's going to be going back and forth, most likely. And then at 2:30 p.m., we have Powell speaking. I can't predict what's going to happen when he speaks. There's no telling what he's going to say. He's going to cause a big move, so it's going to be very exciting. We also have Meta's earnings after the market closes. That's going to be fun too. So I'm ready. It's going to be a fun day. Get ready, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Tesla in the market to the moon, and peace out.